The Earth is really rotating. Then why are airplanes flying? They could just go up in air and stay in the same location and wait for the Earth to rotate. And then land. Why do they need to fly? Isn't that concerning? If the Earth is really rotating, then why are airplanes flying? They could just go up in air and stay in the same location and wait for the Earth to rotate and then land. Why do they need to fly? If the
Oh my fucking god! Wow, seriously?
So,
Damn.
so it's an
God.
age-old debate, right?
Wow.
So, man, do y'all think the Earth is flat, or do you think the Earth is round?
I know that the earth is round.
How you know? How the fuck you know, nigga?
Well, for one, there are no straight lines in nature. Nature doesn't create straight lines. And in that same question that he's presenting right there, I was thinking about that one day, right? I was thinking about helicopters because we was watching a helicopter. And I was like, well, if the earth is spinning, why don't the earth move up under this helicopter? You see what I'm saying? I was baffled by that. So you know me, once I got a question, I need answers. So I went and looked it up, and I found out that okay, the atmosphere of the earth also rotates with the earth. The atmosphere is not standing still. The atmosphere is rotating also with the earth. So if this helicopter is standing still, the helicopter is also moving within the atmosphere with the earth. So that's why planes have to fly, because the atmosphere of the earth, they're inside the atmosphere of the earth. So everything within the atmosphere of the earth is spinning with the earth. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I mean I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one reason. And another reason we know that the earth is round is because we can see the shadow of the earth being cast on the moon. And it's round.
Are you convinced, or you trying to convince us?
No. I'm totally convinced. The earth is round.
So before you speak, King, because I gotta add context. Okay, so now here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think the world is round too.
Okay.
But key word, I think.
You think.
Now, the reason I think the earth was round because hell, I was taught that.
Yeah.
That's all I know. And everything that has been given to me has shown me that the world is round, right?
Yeah.
But we was also told the earth had 9 planets, and then they took one away. All right.
Yeah.
But they
Just
took
fact.
Pluto. They took Pluto away because of the size of Pluto. But
The
Pluto
size.
is
my
still
point,
there.
but you
It's
see
still-
my
yeah.
point though.
It's still there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there.
But you see my point though. Also, I have to take into consideration. In other words, for me, I would never debate it, at least seriously. I'll debate it out of fun like now. But
Yeah.
one of the reasons I would never seriously debate it is because for hundreds of thousands of years, the world was considered domed and flat. Also,
Not everybody.
Not to everybody.
Not everybody.
no, hold on, no. No, I'm saying hundreds of thousands of years ago, it was evenly considered that the world was flat. It was. At one point, everybody agreed, just like to it. Then it got, when we evolved,
No.
people said it did. But hold on, I'm not trying to, that's to be deep.
Go
I
ahead,
don't
go
want
ahead,
to
go
argue the
ahead, go
details,
ahead.
Your point.
Hold
Go
on,
ahead,
hold
finish
on,
your point.
I'm trying to let me get my point out, because I don't want to argue the details. We don't want to swear away, right? Because again, I don't want to argue about somebody else's argument, right?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
finish your point.
what I'm saying, my point is this. To add to it, even in the Quran and the Christian Bible, two of the largest religions, and it's in the book of the Buddha. When they speak on the earth, they speak on it from a flat earth or domed firmament. All I'm saying is that those are some of the reasons why I wouldn't seriously debate or argue it. Because when I look at both sides, they both present some bona fide fucking evidence, bro. They do, bro. If I'm saying,
what evidence?
Here's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it from the mind of a child, as if I have an absent mind. I know nothing about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be easy to disagree with people when your bias has already been implanted into you. We were taught that the earth was round. So a lot of us will argue that.
Okay,
but I'm saying from the mind of a child who I don't know if the world is cube, round, rectangular. When I think of it, when I listen to both arguments from the mind of a child, I agree with both arguments. It could be flat, it could be a dome firmament, it could be a round surface that rotates. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm not here to argue either or, but y'all can.
What evidence would you say they have to state that the earth is flat?
Not, Kenfo, I can't, man, that'll be 5 hours worth of showtime trying to, my line, you got to do that research yourself, bro. It's a lot of shit. But it is, bro. I'm just being honest. I'm being very fair to you.
I feel where Rocket come from, because there is a lot of information
it's
about
a lot
flat
of shit
Earth from the
there,
past.
bro.
There's a lot about the roundness from stone stuff that's put in stone too from that back.
The ice wall.
But I will say this: I feel the Earth is round.
Yeah, I think it's round.
The reason why I feel that it's round is for one simple reason. I believe the round circle and the round is the most efficient shape in the universe. Everything we have is round. Everything. The raindrop is round. It just looks like a drop because it's falling because of gravity. Our cells are round. When you get a blister, it's trying to swell up it's going out in all directions. Everything, so it's gonna be round. The air bubbles under the water, the air bubbles are round. The sun is round from what we see. The moon is round. Everything is round. All of the galaxies they show us have some sort of circular pattern. Even our hair follicle is a spiral. So it's like the flat, because even the shadow thing on the moon can be debunked if you had the flat Earth. Because what if the flat side flew over the moon and the curvature of the flat side, because it's supposed to be like a quarter, right? The curvature is going over the moon, so you see the round of the moon. So I can see that, but I don't believe the flat Earth. And the only reason too why this is a topic, because I feel like there's a lot of, and this is gonna ruffle some feathers. And this is what I'm gonna say. I feel that there's a lot of niggas. There's a lot of Hebrew Israelite niggas. There's a lot of Hotep ass niggas that think that if we don't believe it's flat, then we can't possibly believe that there's racism in the world or white people lie to us. And I can say I don't need my earth to be flat to know that white people can lie and know that racism actually existed. And know that we are a global people. I don't need to know that it's flat. You know what I'm saying? So that's where a lot of that comes from.
Racism and a goddamn is the earth flat around subject.
What'd he say? What'd he say?
Why the hell you inject racism in a flat around earth, nigga?
Because that's where the premise is coming from.
No, it does not come from them.
That is it. That's the only.
No, it didn't.
Go ask a flat earther why is it important for it to be a flat earth?
King. The Earth was thought to be flat hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Not by everybody, just by a little bit of people. Not by everybody.
Yeah.
Africans. You go look at the walls in Babylonia. They have a depiction of the solar system, and every solar system thing in there is a circle.
Yeah.
So,
Africans. Also,
yeah,
the Aztec Indians,
the Hopi
Mayans, they all knew that the Earth was round. Only people who thought, and this is not a racist statement when I say this, but the only people who thought the Earth was flat was Europeans.
That's a lie.
No.
Where you get the knowledge from?
No,
who else thought that?
Who else? Because if it wasn't true,
first of all, hold on. Let me prove my point. Go ahead and First of all, the first astronomers was black people.
And they knew the Earth was round.
And they still were.
No, they did not. They thought the Earth was flat.
No, they did not. Going to the edge of the Earth. They were still going past the horizon and understanding. That's why Mansa Musa went to the Americas and sent one boat back. And one boat came back, and then they left and never came back. Because they weren't afraid to fall off. The white folks were scared they're going to fall off.
They knew the Earth was round.
They knew it was round.
It's no way you could create an astronomical alignment, which most of their structures was built in the astronomical alignment without the knowledge of knowing that the Earth is round.
There's no way you would come up with the concept of zero for the Aztecs if they couldn't come up with their count, their long count, the long count and the short count, the calendar, if they felt like it was a flat Earth. They knew it was round because of the celestial bodies.
You're right. You're right. Kid, guess who started saying the Earth was flat?
Who?
Greeks.
But we gotta see which ones was. If it was the Etruscans, they still was black too.
And see,
nah, these was the white ones, nigga. BC, nigga.
Yeah. The black
them BC niggas is them white Greeks, nigga.
Yeah, we always knew the Earth was round. We always knew. But see, I'm gonna tell you this too. See, when most ancient philosophers like the Greeks, because the Greeks passed knowledge on to a lot of Europeans. A lot of them learned at the feet of masters in Egypt. So when explaining a philosophy to somebody, if they don't have the words inside their language to express this, you see what I'm saying? That's how things get lost in translation.
Exactly.
You get lost in translation, but yeah, they
ancient Africans. Ancient Africans were very aware that the Earth's spherical shape.
We was walking.
Hold on, let me finish. The ideal that the world was flat was a common misconception and is not supported by any African astrologers in the beginning.
None.
Damn, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we knew this for thousands of years.
Unambiguous Europeans references to a spherical Earth are found in the work of ancient Greek philosophers Plato and Aristotle, but we both know they stole everything from ancient African because we taught them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we taught them.
Emotep.
There we go. Yeah. Hey, I can be wrong. Hey, like I say, that's why I tell people I don't that type of stuff. I would never like debate it because I was taught the world was round. You know what I'm saying? But clearly, the Africans said this.
12 years ago. Yeah, 12 years ago, I would have debated this hardcore 12 years ago. But
for real, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, but see what King was alluding to, them ancient Israelite brothers, they'll hit you with how in the Bible it would talk about the pillars of the earth or the four corners of the earth. You know what I'm saying? But what you gotta always understand that in geometry, you thinking in degrees, right? You thinking in degrees. So the circle can also be squared, squaring the circle. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Because a square is 360 degrees. A circle is 360 degrees. So when they was explaining this to the Greeks, and the first Bibles that were the oldest Bibles that we have are written in Greek. You see what I'm saying? So when they was explaining this to the Greeks and they was explaining it in degrees, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just didn't have the words to express that thought. Yeah, that's just like in Africa, we say the word spirit, but in Africa, it's probably over 100 different words to explain spirit.
Well, now actually, I'm gonna tell you about that word, right? And it's funny because when you really think about it, from what I learned, it's this dude. He a smart brother, older dude. He be on YouTube and everything. And what's crazy is when he was talking about as far as like the word spirit, he was also using that word as in relation to the earth being spiritual, right? Which is quote unquote circle. But he said the word spirit stems. He said the word spear is actually short for spirit. And so it kind of comes together when you think about the world being, spherical, because it's not actually a whole circle, but it is circular.
Yeah.
And he was saying, he was breaking down the word spirit simply means air. So you think about it, air, the word spirit meaning air, spirit, the earth is spherical, and air exists on earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's some deep shit.
Yeah. And without air, you have no consciousness. If you
Exactly.
cut off your air right now, you lose
You lose consciousness.
consciousness. You see what I'm saying? And a
Exactly.
spiritual is also no ending, no beginning. It's eternal.
Exactly. Because he was saying his argument was that he don't like when people try to define religion as spirit. It's not the
Yeah.
same. He said religion is a construct. It's a social construct.
It's a
He
construct.
said the spirit is not a social construct. A social construct. He said spirit is simply life or lack thereof. He said because as long as there's air, there's life. As long as there's not air, there's not life. There's nothing living without air, and therefore we are walking spirits.
Spirit, for sure.
And I guess that that's what makes it. That's what defines existence. You know what I mean? That's pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
science-wise, to answer the question of the original question, why you can't just stay in one place and the Earth move is because the Earth is moving so goddamn fast. We're dealing with the inertia. Like we don't even see or feel the Earth how fast it's moving and circulating around. That it feels like we're only moving 15 degrees per hour. So that's why we have 24 hours in a year in a day. It looks like we're only moving, but we're really moving super super fast. That's the reason why we have wind currents and storm patterns. That's the reason why we know how to predict our storm patterns because that inertia spinning is predictable. It's always going to be going. Because if it ain't going, we dead.
Yeah. Now here is and here's the crazy part. Here's one of the only reasons why I don't debate flat earthers, right? Is because when you look at it from the perspective of their argument is that it's domed. That's when the debate gets tricky for me.
That's when it gets
because
easy.
When it's domed, if it's a domed celestial being, that it gives them some credence. It doesn't mean they're right, but it gives them some credence because then it makes sense. You see what I'm saying? Because think about it. We do have a ground.
Mm-hmm.
There is flat ground. Flat ground does exist.
Mm-hmm.
And flat ground can exist with the lid. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit deep. I find it interesting. Man, the shit deep, bro. It really is. You know what I'm saying? It really is.
Yeah,
It's
the
deep.
flat would have to be like kind of a little bit like this. I feel like if the dome would have to work, it would have to be like this, so that way you can have night and day. Because I don't see how you would have night and day with the flat in
Well,
the dome.
well,
I don't see how you would have.
that gives them a good argument when they talk about the sun and how it's this part of the world and this part of the day and stuff like that. Because when you think about it, think about the sundial.
Think about what?
The
Oh,
sundial.
yeah.
The
That's true.
That shit
sundial?
deep.
That's true. That's true. That's a hard one.
Man,
There.
the sundial.
And then it got all those obelisks. They got all those obelisks and all. So that's a hard one to call.
That's
there.
a hard one, B. It's deep, bro. That
You say
shit
the sun, you say the sundial?
Yeah,
Yeah, you ever seen a sundial?
Yeah,
You
to
ever seen
tell
the sundial?
time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
It got to
And
cast
what-
the shadow.
And what is it doing though? It's moving in a circular pattern.
But the
But-
dome, it can
the
still
dome,
move in a
it
circular
moves
pattern over the
As
dome.
if it's a dome pattern.
Oh, you saying if the sun was moving in the dome pattern.
Yes.
So that would be
Also-
saying, so in order for that to be happening, the sun would have to be smaller than the earth.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But
You know,
look,
there's something there.
but look,
Because
but
it got to
look.
be inside
Oh,
the
no,
earth.
no,
It got to
no,
be
no.
inside the dome.
but look, guess what? They also argue that.
That the sun is smaller than the earth.
Yes, they argue that. But look, but check this out though. Let me again. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I
Yeah,
think
for sure,
so.
for sure.
But guess what? Pull out your compass right now.
For what?
I don't have a compass right now.
No, I'm not saying that literally.
Uh-huh.
Guess what?
What?
Tell
You
them,
gotta hold it
King.
flat. You got to hold it flat. You do got to hold it
It's
flat.
also, let me add that. Guess what? Do you know on a compass, it never points north, nigga.
It never points north.
Your compass will never point north, nigga.
Okay, wait
This
a
shit
minute.
is crazy.
What?
Well,
The compass
well,
has
A compass
north,
never
no,
points
wait.
north.
The compass has north, west, south, east, west.
Exactly.
It gotta point at north.
it
It
got
gotta
to.
point north.
You got an iPhone? You got an extra phone?
It points north. If I sit north, it's gonna. If I sit north, it's gonna point north.
Why debate me when you can pull out a
This is
fucking
south.
compass? You're
I
not
don't
here.
have- Where your phone
This
at,
is south,
DD?
and this is north.
It's either the south or the north. But I think it does. It never points north.
You mean it never go points up?
It never points north. I'm not saying up. It never points north.
Why?
Because I can't tell you if north is up. That's not my debate. I don't know.
Why won't it point north?
Look, I'm speaking from the mind of a child. If I add my
I'm asking from a mind of a child.
Listen, if I add my bias, then I'm gonna argue about the world being round. I'm thinking that of a mind of a child. But I'm telling you, on a compass, it never points north, bro.
Okay, wait. Okay, for me,
I'm gonna have
coming
to
from
check that out.
Wait. I'm coming from a child's point of view. Okay.
Yeah.
When I think of Santa Claus, I'm thinking north is up. When I think of Harriet Tubman and the slaves running north, I think of north, that way. But when I think of Santa, I think of that way, north. So there's two norths in this world. There's a slavery north, and there's a Santa Claus north. To me,
Look, for me to jump into that is arguing something I don't know. But what I'm telling you is a fact. A compass never points north. Everybody got a compass on their phone. You can just go get a phone and see. I'm not arguing something I can't prove. You can find out yourself.
I'm sure gonna do that experiment.
Yeah.
As soon as I get off here,
I can't argue because I never tried it. I don't even remember last time I seen a compass.
And I'm gonna take a screenshot.
I'm definitely gonna try it.
We
And
all
look,
got to take
also,
a screenshot.
let me add some content to it. Guess what? Do you know that you're supposed to sleep towards the north?
What, with your head facing north?
You supposed to sleep towards the north.
So you sleep standing up.
King, you gotta let your bias go. Don't you? Because you think north is up. No,
Yeah.
you have, and I'm telling you, when I was told that, it fucked me up. And I remember like 3 years ago, I went in the bed and I laid and I got my compass, and so I was like, let me see, because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you how I found out. My doctor's Nigerian. And I was telling, and I was Googling about me, because what I noticed was when I sleep a certain way, I have nightmares, I don't sleep right, and I feel like my heart gets a little heavy. And so I Googled the shit. Do you know that, man, the motherfucker Google saying you supposed to sleep going north? Because when you sleeping opposite of that, you going against the magnetic field. And Kippo, do you know when I told my doctor that shit, he said, yeah, you're right. So now when I go to bed, I make sure I always sleep north. Shit is mind-blowing, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I always sleep.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
I sleep to the west so I can rise to the sun to the east. That's what I was always taught my grandmother.
So you supposed to sleep north, I'm telling you. Because guess what? Okay, let me ask you this. Watch this. Which side is your heart on?
The left.
Your left side.
No, it's
The
not.
left side.
No, it's not.
I passed the national registry with a
Listen to me. Listen to me. And I got my goddamn CPR license. Listen to me.
I got that too.
I know, but listen to me. Your heart is, listen to me. You're almost right, but you're not actually right. I thought that too. Your heart is not, it is a little bit more on the left side than the right. It's almost center, but it's not on your left. It's more towards it on the left side than it is the right side. It's not
semantic. Yeah.
So my point is, your heart is more towards the north. It's the way the body's designed. So in other words, so when you lay on the north, your heart is less heavy on you. But when you do it, you lay on the south, your heart is more heavy on you, and it works.
No. Because now you're going into my logic. Because now you're going into my logic.
I'm not asking you to debate me. When you go to bed,
going into my logic now of the
when you go to bed, listen, when you go to bed,
you said when you're on this side down, it's heavy. When I'm on this side,
you go to bed,
it's better.
When you go to bed, open your app, put on your compass, lay it down, and see which way is north, and lay that way. Don't argue with me. Just argue with
lay your body on your head.
My own doctor told me this. He said it's true. Of course, he's a Nigerian man.
Your body or your head? Your head is facing north?
No, I'm talking about most of us are laying either left this way as far as our whole body or this way as our whole body. Not like on top. See, you got to remember, we're dealing with gravity. Who can really decide what's the top and the bottom with gravity? We don't know which way is up or down, really.
Yeah, gravity is all.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't go from it from a top or bottom perspective. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Kenfo, that shit is crazy. It's deep, bro.
Hold on. We gotta go to the next topic. I'm confused like a mother.
That was one of them topics, though. We can go way deep down a rabbit hole with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You keep.
Hold on. See what I'm saying? Look, a compass does not align with the north because it points to the Earth's magnetic pole. I told y'all.
You say what?
I remember I told you that the compass never points north.
It say why though?
That means feel good as shit.
It say because it points towards the Earth magnetic pole, which is not the same as the geographic North Pole. This difference is known as declination. And that's what them flat earthers be arguing. This shit deep, Kenfo. And kinfolk, and I never forget when I was told it and read that. I literally I would just try during a day drive. I would turn around. That bitch don't point to the north, nigga. Because it's something about, you notice two magnets never touch each other. So it's something along those lines. I don't know what it is. This shit is interesting, bro.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna do my research.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want you. I didn't believe it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Kinfolk, when that shit, my own doctor told me, yes.
Oh wow.
And I never forget, right? I remember when me and my wife was in bed. And so I just did it out of pure interest, right? Because she's Nigerian. And so I said, baby, I said, you never sleep this way. I said, why you never sleep this way? She said, I don't know. I said, you sure? She said, I don't know. She said, my parents used to tell me never sleep that way. I don't know why. I never asked why. I just did it. See, them Africans be on some shit, boy.
We talking 1,000 years of knowledge. Thousands of years of knowledge.
Yeah, she said, I don't know. I said, and I told her why. She was like, really? She said, I always wondered why they told me never sleep that way. She said, they said, you lay that way, bad heart, never lay that way. And I'm like, fuck. It should be unfolded. Knowledge is a mythical thing, bro. It's a realistic thing, bro. It's amazing. But yes, kinfolk, in fact, go on a computer or y'all and go to Google Earth. This shit creepy, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some deep diving on it.
Okay, then. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next topic. Oh, here go the next topic. Let me ask y'all.
I just read no.
What?
It said it is strongly advised against sleeping with the head towards the north.
Okay, that's all I'm saying, bro. I ain't saying you're gonna die if you don't sleep that way, nigga.
It said it's strongly advised against it.
That proves my point, King. I ain't saying you're gonna die if you sleep that way. I didn't say you're gonna die, nigga.
We is not gonna be talking about North and South all night. Y'all brothers go do y'all own research, man. We gotta get
it's just a fun fact. Okay, so next question. Do y'all think man went to the moon?
Hell no.
Hell no. Ain't nobody been on no damn moon.
No.
Now,
no.
Hold on. Let me play devil's advocate again. It's millions and millions of people who are arguing with y'all ass about that, and they got tons of proof.
Millions of dumbasses too. Yeah, no.
But see, now they can call y'all dumbasses for things.
They can call me a dumbass. I'm a dumbass about some things, but millions of people are like on a 3rd to 8th grade reading level.
Don't do that, King. You can't do that, King. You can't. Don't do that.
This is a fact.
Don't do that, King.
He can beat them people up.
This is a fact.
God damn, you acting like Rich tonight.
People are operating on a 3rd to 8th grade.
I'm
giving you something by saying 8th grade. I didn't even want to go past the 4th. But most people are operating on a 4th grade level. Why do you think we have commercials the way we have them? Why do you think the news market the way they market? Hell no. Ain't nobody been to the moon.
Okay, but don't call the people remedial because they think we did.
One thing we know, white folks don't go nowhere and don't start a colony.
Fact. I totally agree. I don't think man went to the moon. I'm gonna say this: if we did, they damn sure didn't come back and lied and said the land didn't go well and they died.
They damn sure did. They didn't come back.
And how the hell you go to the moon with the technological capability less than a damn iPhone?
Less than an iPhone.
We didn't even have we barely had long distance calls at that time.
And broadcasted it to the whole nation.
Whole world.
No interruption.
With a landline. No a rotary phone.
Yeah, nigga, we on the moon right now.
Moon, baby.
And then the dude jumping off the capsule, They already had the camera guy on the moon. Who's the
Who
camera
recorded
guy on the
him?
moon? And I
Wait
said,
a
this
minute.
I'm a cameraman. And I'm like, they would have just stuck me on the moon and wait. I had to
Who
wait for them to
recorded the
get
moon
there.
landing?
Who
Huh?
recorded it?
Who
Who
recorded the
recorded?
moon landing?
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
And
That's what
then
I'm
they
saying.
they even got recordings of them taking off, leaving the moon.
Leaving the moon.
Who stayed?
Who stayed?
Fucking
Oh
stayed.
no,
Who
boy.
stayed?
No.
Hey, I know you probably got the top. I don't want to jump topic, but yeah. What about these people right now with Gail and them? What's going on?
Talking about they going to the moon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, they
Gail and
arguing
Katy
about
Perry.
outer space. They arguing. A lot of people saying they didn't go out of space.
They didn't go out of space.
Yeah.
They were at Sky House on a first date. Sky House doing the Sky House jump.
Yeah.
I
and
know
see,
one thing. That was a very feminist agenda ass trip.
what them
It
going to
looked
space?
like it. Did you see
Yeah,
that door?
That was
Did
some feminist agenda shit.
Did you see that door open? On
No,
the
I haven't seen it. I've been hearing people talk about it, but I haven't, seen it.
Trust. That door looked like one of those doors you use for your dog and your cat to walk in the garage door back and forth and it flaps.
Yeah.
That's how flimsy that door looked.
Oh man. And
And
they
her
finna take that
girlfriend
boy to
was crying.
space.
Gail's girlfriend was just crying for her and shit.
She going to space.
Yeah. Her girlfriend, Oprah, was just crying. That girl, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna eat you out when you get back, bitch. You
And
so
see,
strong.
wording is so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even the International Space Station, where they be going,
It's not out of space.
it's not out of space.
It's not. It's just really high in the sky.
It's just really high in the sky.
Really high in the sky.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
The highest I've been is 40,000 feet. That's the highest I've been.
Yeah. So
man,
how they up in the sky.
And you can see some dark blue blackness up there.
Yeah.
We up here.
You up there. Yeah,
You
for
up
sure.
there.
You up there.
So let me ask you this. If the world is spherical, can we still be domed in? Can we leave out?
Yes.
Can we pierce?
We can still be domed in on a spherical Earth.
Yeah, we still can be domed in on spherical Earth, which we are with the radiation belt. I forgot the name of that radiation belt. We are.
We are. Yeah. Yeah.
We are. And I think that's why we still here as a human race.
For sure.
Like a species, all the animals here, all the life that's here. I think that's the reason why we ain't supposed to leave.
Well, if that's the case, then doesn't that kill the alien theory?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, then they got to be able to pierce through the belt.
They may be able to because they may have life form skin or molecular body that can actually we can't withstand radiation because the way our body is made up. Like we can go through the radiation, but it's gonna discombobulate our DNA and cells because of the way we're made up. But the other beings that come in, they may be made up of water.
But doesn't the rockets and stuff like that we have, isn't that supposed to protect us from?
Nah, that's not enough. It's just like if you would have to have a lead can flying that would be millions and millions and millions of tons heavy. Like it wouldn't get off the earth. They would have to build it. They'd have to build it in space.
You know what makes me think that we haven't been out of space? Because how can they say we've been out of space or whatever, anything been out of space, even objects, even these rovers, right? When at the same time they say in the same breath how our radial belt literally breaks up huge meteorites.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
If a meteorite can't fucking pierce through, how the hell are we gonna pierce out?
We can't even take a piece of machinery to the bottom of the ocean because of the pressure. How the fuck are we gonna take to pressure outside of space?
Now I have another question. I'm glad you asked that. Here's a segue. Some say outer space is in the ocean.
Mm.
Any,
I could rationale. I could believe on that one because
You heard about that discoverer, this sea guy? He said that when he went into I think it's called Andreas Belt or something, it's like the deepest part. He said that the tear in the trench. Do you know he said he discovered an ocean inside the ocean?
Damn, that's crazy.
it's crazy.
And he said when he went in it from his thing, he said he seen like it was a whole nother landmass. It was like it had its own atmosphere. And he proved it too. But
you know, could be. We don't know what's in that damn water.
We don't know what's in that water. I agree with that one. And I'm not gonna be the one to tell you.
That's why I don't play with that water shit either, King. I ain't gonna take my ass in that water.
I don't fuck with it. I don't play with nobody's water.
You know,
I like the ocean,
but to lean back to the alien thing, because I used to be real big on the alien thing, you know. Now I'm not saying that aliens or life forms on other planet don't exist,
life in other
because we're thinking, if you're thinking on a numerical level, they have to exist because the amount of solar systems and all that, something has to exist out there, right? However, when you get these Egyptologists and all these people, when every time they run across something they can't explain, aliens had to do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you get what I'm saying? I feel like, and not to make it a race thing, I feel like that's to take away from the excellence.
Credit.
That's exactly what that is.
Oh yeah, that's
those black people couldn't have built this.
Couldn't have built that.
This had to be alien.
They couldn't have had airplanes before we were even here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. It had to be aliens. You know, so
it wasn't them niggas.
Yeah, that just kind of it just
anybody
really turned me off with the whole alien and UFO thing. It just really turned me off with it, man.
Yeah,
tell King about the outer experience we had and the discovery and the questions we had when we went to the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah. Was that the Grand Canyon, or was that the Hoover Dam?
Yeah, the Hoover Dam.
The Hoover
Dam. Remember, the
The
Grand Canyon go through multiple states. It's long.
Yeah, the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I know I've been to the Grand Canyon before. I know we went to the Grand Canyon also too.
King,
but I know that Hoover Dam was an experience.
If I tell you, King, that shit's so heavily fucking guarded, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go through security, government agents.
Yeah.
And then we was reading the stories and then our cell phones don't work. Once you get so deep in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then we saw parts of it. We seen shit that looked like Egyptian type monuments and shit.
Yeah. It was.
It's a no-fly zone.
That's where my people are from, man. That's where my people are from. That's what looks like
it fucked everybody in the SUV.
Where have you heard the word Ankh? Ankh. What is that?
Yeah, the Ankh.
The Ankh. You heard that word before?
Talking about like the cross looking Ankh.
Yeah, with the man and woman, the old man.
But you've heard that word Ankh.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
My tribe is from where y'all are talking about, Arizona. My tribe, my tribal's name is Akumel Ankh Odom. Akumel Ankh Odom. And they're from the Utah all the way down to Mexico City area is the tribal lands that we are. So I believe y'all. I believe you. I seen things over there before, monuments to certain things.
We had questions. I'm like, damn, this shit was
real.
But you know,
you gotta go through all this shit just to see a damn nigga.
But you know, and I don't want to sound racist, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times when you're dealing with European civilizations, they build on top of prior civilizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if we go back to the ancient Greeks, right? If you look at the monuments that's still left over from the ancient Greeks, you can see how the Greeks was building on top of some, because they have colossal stones up under there that they did not build.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And the same thing when you come to America, they'll have you believe that it was no cities, there was no written language, there was no alphabet. You know, you understand what I'm saying? But they build on top of these cities. Like even St. Louis, when they first got to St. Louis, they would call St. Louis Mound City, because St. Louis was full of pyramids.
Full of pyramids.
Full of
Yeah.
They
pyramids.
built on them.
It was, then they built on top of them. They built on top of them. It's a guy I be watching, man. Uriah Brandon. And he goes and digs up these old pictures of how when they was laying the railroad, how they would just find pyramids and they would just demolish them, and all the artifacts and everything. Now you would think that they would want to save these monuments, right? Or at least the artifacts that they got out of them after they demolished them. They would let people come and have their pickings with them. That's how you know that it's a story here that they don't want to be told.
Yep.
God.